Hey, it's me, Wild Neptune. People are quitting Epic 7. Why? Find out right after you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Thanks for watching, and let's go. Now, joking aside, I'm sure we all know about this right now. It is the returning user check-in event drama that's been popping up. This is an updated returning player event, so when you AFK for the game for at least 16 days and come back, you get this new bonus event. And back when it was revealed, not too long ago, like a little over a month ago, people jokingly said, hey, maybe I'll AFK for 16 days, but people have actually started doing it, and we have seen the returns. So, how OP are these returns? Well, let's see what we get here. You will get some bonus energy and some charms for, well, it's actually only 6 days, because you have to lock for 2 consecutive days in order to get this. You also get this 7-day track here. So you get some... I'm actually not sure if this is here. I'm assuming it's only for 6 days. I'm pretty sure this disappears after 7 days. But you get some leaves. You get an 88 speed set and crit set. Not crit set, a counter set. And they have all 6 pieces. They are static subs. So they will always have the same subs. Of course, they roll randomly. And we'll look at those pieces in a little bit here. Potion of Ascension, some molas. You get 9 Covenant bookmark pulls a day for 7 days. This is basically a daily subbing pack 2, which is a $20 value right now. And you also get a random 5-star ticket. These are all really good things to have, right? And all you have to do is AFK for 16 days. You also get something that wasn't advertised here. This little thing. This is Arky's growth guide, and this also procs at the same time. And sorry if the quality is so low here, but you get some red charms, which is really nice. You get more molas. So you had 4 there, you have 3 here. 50 bookmarks. You get 3 selector conversion gem boxes. These are actually, I would say, the rarest thing out of all of these right now. You also, I think these are Elven bookmarks, or something like that. RGB, so no Moonlight ones, but 4 to 5 stars if I'm not mistaken. And I also believe this is another random 5-star ticket. And you notice here too that they have like 5, 10, 15, 20. This is because these are associated with missions, and the missions themselves give other things also. Among them are leaves, charms, bookmarks, I think there's a molar in there somewhere or something like that. One of them might even give like a galaxy pull, if I'm not mistaken, maybe on like the last day. I know my new account just went through the new player one, and at the last day they had stuff like a galaxy pull and things like that. So maybe it's kind of similar in that matter. Anyway, these do happen at the same time, and yeah, just go away and come back and you'll get this too. So what are things that we are losing? Well, one of them is going to be some energy. So we gain 1 energy every 4 minutes. So that's 360 energy every day. Let's say we use 300 of them doing something, okay? So 300 times 16 is 4,800 energy. We also lose energy from the event here by doing whatever this is. There's always 200 from this, and let's say we get 50 somewhere else by like bonus energy somewhere, like from one of the random things, whatnot. So there's another 250 every day. So that also brings us to about 8,800 total that we are not using. Plus other bonuses too, like say from the mailbox here, which is 100, plus friendship, which is 40, maybe some other places. And add it all up, I came up to about, we're losing about 12k energy over the course of the 16 days that we are not, well, playing the game. Now, let's say we all use that on our hunts. So let me bring out this little thing right here, and boom. So, have a calculator, and we came out with 12,000 energy, okay? So, now, hunts are 20 energy, right? So we will divide that by 20, and now we have run 600 hunts, okay? Now, let's say we do an 100 event, we have a pet, we have a bonus, everything like that. Let's say that we are averaging about say 35 material drops, right? A run, and that will bring us to about 21k material drops. Now, let's say we use most of them on left side gear, maybe a few on right side gear. So let's put it at, say, 45-ish, right? Materials per a craft. So we divide it by 45, and we come out with about 466 pieces of gear. Now, how many of those pieces of gear do you think are going to be very good, or at least usable? So, as a side note, in the last hunt event we've had, well, last two, I've gone through about, I want to say, a lot, like, I went through a lot of gear. And I didn't really do the math, but I'm not sure how many pieces I would get in 466. Keep in mind, this is almost 47 10x's, which is quite a lot, and you do have potential to get decent pieces. I definitely have a number of potential like 70 gear score plus pieces when they are reforged from this. At my level, I am searching for more specific pieces that I might need, but for a mid-game or like just play getting into farming a lot, this is actually a lot of energy and a lot of crafts that you might be missing out on if you want to find certain pieces. The problem is that in no way are you going to get 12 usable pieces right off the bat by spending even like 5 times this amount of energy. So yes, you are losing a lot of energy, but unless you are at like the super end game where the gear, which we haven't even looked at yet, right, isn't that appealing to you, then this doesn't really matter that much. However, we do lose some other things too. One of those other things is going to be some Skystones. So, how many Skystones do we actually lose? Well, first of all, we lose 30 a day. Whoops, that's not where I want to go. We lose 30 a day from our rep rewards right here. So that is that. That's about, I want to say, that's 480 Skystones. We also lose some from the steeple. So go to Sanctuary here, and I calculated it at a 333 with an 80% collect efficiency. So it came out to about 460 or so. So about 940, 950 Skystones here that we are losing. Also, we do lose 2 weeks of Arena. Because we cannot collect on the 1 week, and then we had to skip an entire other week, and we can't collect on that next week either. So I calculated this at Champion 5, which I feel like a lot of people are going to be sitting at here. So at Champion 5, we lose about 800 800 Skystones a week for 1,600 total. Of course, if your rank is higher or lower, this will change for you, but I felt like this is a good baseline. Also, probably get Skystones from like other like miscellaneous things too. So I totaled that out to be about 2,700 Skystones that we are missing out on. Skystones are actually a more valuable resource than I think people realize, because Skystones can be used to refresh shop and get more bookmarks and get more mystics and things like that. It is also for your Hoochie shop when it pops up, your Epic Pass. So this is actually a substantial deal here. Now, I'll be honest here, 2,700 is not a humongous amount. If it was like, even like 4,000, I would say that would be a really significant amount to lose out on for the 16 days. Also, again, I did not see any Skystones in the returning packs or stuff like that. Maybe there are some in there, but just assuming that there are not, keep in mind you will lose some of those Skystones. Now, you also lose some Molagoras. You lose 2 from the Transmit Stone shop, which I'm trying to get you right here, but you do lose... Oh, there we go. 2 from here. You lose 1 from here, and you lose 1 from your guild. Now, why only 1 and not 2? Well, because what you can do is you can, on the first day of the week, what a day is for you, buy everything from the shop, do all your weeklies that first day. It is possible. And then AFK for the entire week. You miss the next week, too. And then, at the end of the week after that one, before the start of the week after, you do everything again. You buy everything on that last day, and you've only missed total rewards for 1 week. You still lose the daily stuff for the first few days of the last week, but you still get to buy your Mola. You still get to do things like, do your get your guild stuff like that. I'm actually pretty sure you also can collect your arena rewards too, but they'll be a little bit lesser. But I'm not going to redo that math right in this video here. But yeah, you only lose 5 Molas. And we've already established that we get more than 5 back from coming back. So we actually gain Molas by, well, AFKing. Now, how many Molas? I think it's 3 or something like that. Maybe 4 that we net. So 4 Molas for AFKing for 16 days. Would you trade 2,700 Skystones for 4 or 5 Molas? It's a little bit pricey, but it's not the worst deal in the world. Now, something though that you cannot get back are your mystics. Now, this is largely going to depend on the guild that you are in. I've calculated this with a 5x guild with a 75 mystic per guild war average, which I actually think is somewhat high relative to, the average player base, which is 525 mystics over 7 guild wars, plus the guild war shop, so buying it for armbands, so 575 mystics in total, and you also, some maybe other miscellaneous things, so I just put it at 600 mystics. So that's 12 mystics pulls that you're not getting, which actually can be substantial. Mystics are hard to get. They are one of the more valuable and more pricey things in the cash shop. Just keep that in mind. You're losing on that. Something also that I don't think people really talk about is you also lose these commander armbands. Now, depending on where you are in the game and you might not value them that much. And if you're like me, you've already bought out all the artifacts in the shop and just kind of use them on dumb things. I buy these sometimes I buy these bookmarks, right, when I'm close to one, just to pull on them. And yes, they do add up, and they do let you maybe get some more 5-stars, some more Moonlight pulls that you haven't gotten before. Now, again, depending on where your guild is, how much you lose from these can range from anywhere to maybe as low as 100 of them, all the way to something maybe 1,400 of them for the 16 days. That is how drastic that is. And make no mistake, missing out, you're also losing on these things like these equipment conversion boxes. These are random, but you also lose a selector and stuff like that too, which can turn into good gear. Can. Will it? Probably not. And this is the big thing. I honestly don't think any of the bonuses that you are getting from the returning player check-in event is really super insane, save for maybe the gear, which we will look at right now. Because again, this is the big thing. All the other things are really nice, like the Covenant pulls. I do also feel like those are a little bit much also, especially because there's so many of them. For veteran players, I don't think it matters that much, but for newer players, they don't have a lot of heroes, they really want to get more pulls in, I think it's actually a pretty big deal for them. But the gear, let's look at that. So here's the speed set. It's all 88 gear. And you see here, they all have fixed subs. Now, some of them are like, okay, right? It's like, this is a weird weapon, has crit chance and effectiveness on that, right? Like who's gonna use this? I don't know, maybe Zeo. Something like that, I don't know. This one though, very strong like bruiser-like piece here. This one here, it looks very good for something maybe like an AOL or like a Solitaria. Speed set boots with no real dead subs at all. A health neck with the this one's kind of weird, right? This one too is also kind of weird also. Maybe these two aren't the best ones in the world. But yes, these are pieces that can roll very well. Now you have the counter gear too. You notice that they have well, I believe they have the same. No, they don't. The subs are actually actually a little bit different on them. But yeah, you can see the subs here. They do all have what I would call a dead stat in a lot of them. So that's kind of a danger there. It might persuade people that maybe the set isn't really that good. And what I would say is, again, if you are a veteran player and playing for a long time, these pieces are probably not amazing for you. And if you're one of those players, you probably recognize that these are not like the end-all be-all pieces, and that maybe like 1 or 2 of them are going to be pieces you actually use on, say, PvP units. And like I established, from the energy that you're losing, you might actually get 1 or 2 of them pieces, like maybe even better pieces than these from farming. I also did not mention, though, that you do get a buff event for new players, which has like bonus drop rates for your hunt, stuff like that, which stacks with other events, which is also insane. So you get more bonuses that way. So maybe also farm more gear too. Nonetheless, for a newer player, that is not super endgame, getting this gear is a game changer. Not to mention the fact that they also get like upgrade charms and fodder and stuff like that to upgrade the gear too. That's also insane, because for those players, getting like charms and stuff like that is actually a pretty big issue. And being able to progress their account by not playing, especially when those players, they're not going to be in good guilds. They are likely not going to be as efficient, likely not going to be doing everything. And remember, all the stuff we talk about here, we talking about the maximum things we can lose out on. We're not talking about players who are more casual and, let's say, can't do everything all of the time like some of the hardcore players like me, okay? We talk about players that they log in, right? They use their energy when they can, but they're not too concerned about doing things super efficiently, right? When they proc stuff like this, that's really big for them, okay? And for the rest of this video, I want to talk about how good this is, right, overall for the game. Now, how good do I think this is, and what can be done about it? Well, first of all, I do not think it is as amazing as some people have made it out to be. Yes, getting all this bonus stuff is really good. However, you are losing out on stuff too. Again, the Mystics, the Covenant armbands, if you care about those, some Skystones, other stuff like that. You are gaining stuff too, though, like a lot of pulls, summons, charms, and the gear. And I feel like the gear is the big thing. I feel like people are weighing the gear versus the Skystone / Mystics. Also maybe the Molas too, because you get some of those. Also the 5-star tickets, right? I feel like for again, doing this as like a newer player or more free-to-play player is way more beneficial than doing it as a late game player or as like a spender. If you have either of the monthly packs, right? So these things here in the shop here, these here, right? If you have either of these, you automatically do not do this, because I don't know if people realize this, but in order to get these bonuses here, you actually have to log into the game. They don't go to your mailbox unless you log in for that day. So make sure that you do that lock in every day if you have either of those packs. Otherwise, you actually lose out on even more things. So if you have the monthly pack, yeah, this is automatically a no-go in my opinion. But if you don't, again, free-to-play players will not have that. It's a little more, I would say, complicated because, again, free-to-play players are going to be probably less efficient, be able to do less things, get less resources every single week, or not even free-to-play players, but it's players who are like not in the late game yet, maybe like newer players, like middle game players, right? They're going to be losing out on less and still gaining the exact same amount as everybody else. So, and again, the big thing is going to be that 88 gear, and those players are going to have worse gear overall probably, and that 88 gear is going to be maybe the best gear that they have on their account. Like for me, would I use any of those 12 pieces? If they rolled well, yeah, but I definitely have better pieces that I'll probably get from, you know, the piece that I rolled from the 88 returning player event if I did this. And there's potential that I don't use any of those 88 pieces that I rolled because the gear I have isn't like the best gear ever, but it is pretty high quality. Now, case in point here, the last Hunter event, I used a lot of energy, obviously, and I got some pretty good gear. This is one of the pieces I got, okay? I would probably trade all 12 of the pieces from the returning player event for this one piece right here. And this piece isn't even on it right now. I actually haven't re-geared anything quite yet. But yeah, this piece is more valuable than all 12 of those other pieces combined. And if you don't farm, don't use your energy, you can never get this piece. And that is a big factor too, where how much value are you actually going to get from those pieces of gear? Again, new mid-game players, probably a ton of value. Late game players, probably not as much. Now, what can it do to fix this? Well, first of all, they can't nerf this, right? They cannot go back and revert this and change it back to something that was before. I know they did this with the Epic Pass. The first Epic Pass was like busted, and then they nerfed it after that. There's a lot of like anger about that and stuff like that, but that kind of passed over. But Smilegate traditionally has not been in the things of nerfing for a very long time now, and I don't think this is gonna change it. What I think should happen, and what I think people would really be happy about. First of all, one thing they can do though is they can make it so that this particular thing cannot be redone. So, from what I understand, you can proc this multiple times and there's no cooldown for it. So maybe give it like once per account, or maybe like once per year that this can happen, something like that, but not like infinite like it seems to be right now. But my idea is that give a loyalty check-in too. So let's say that you log into the game every day for like 6 months or maybe a year, right? Maybe they have two of them, one for 6 months, one for a year, and you proc a similar thing to this. Just for being a dedicated player and logging in, right? You're rewarding players for quitting the game for 16 days. Why not reward them for playing the game for a long time too? That is my idea. That will incentivize people to actually play the game. The problem here is that these rewards for newer players, these are the players that Smilegate really wants to play their game a lot, because they already have the veterans hooked, right? They don't really care about us that much, okay? They care about the new bloods, right? Those are the players they want playing the game. And if the rewards here are so good that those new players stop playing the game, well, the game is done, okay? So having incentives for players to actually play the game, I think is going to be a much, much bigger help than nerfing these things for players who, you know, legitimately might have quit or left the game for like real reasons, okay? But that's just my piece on it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out my other recent videos here, like my guide for my selective summons, also the start of the brand new Epic 7 Time series with episode 2 will be coming out very shortly. Anyway, I'm Neptune. It's been a good one. Nep out.